Good evening. Coventry City Council has agreed a deal to sell its shares in the Ricoh Arena to Wasps Rugby Club. It's thought the deal is worth around £20 million. For more now on what the sale means for Coventry City Football Club, here's our sports correspondent Steve Clamp outside the Council House.
Well, after a meeting here at the Coventry Council House this afternoon, it was confirmed at about 5:30 that the deal had been done, that Wasps, the rugby club from London, would be coming to play their rugby at the Ricoh Arena in a deal they'd signed of around £19.5 million to buy a lease for 250 years. So they've not bought the bricks and mortar of the Ricoh Arena. That remains the property of Coventry City Council, but they have bought a lease that goes on pretty much forever. Well, I spoke to the leader of the council here earlier this evening, and also to a fan from the Supporters Trust to see what their thoughts were on the deal today.
I'm relieved that we've finally come to a decision, and we're as sure as we can be that it's the best thing to happen for the city, for the football club and for Coventry Rugby Club, all of which are incredibly important.
I think we're hoping now that the relationships between the football club and the past owners of ACL, shall we now say, have been fractious. We're hoping this is a new start, that they can build some bridges, they can actually get on with their new landlords, certainly in the short term, build some bridges long term and keep the Ricoh as the home of Coventry City.
Of course, for Wasps fans, this means they'll now be travelling a return journey of around 200 miles to support their team. We asked a fan what he thought about coming to watch rugby in Coventry.
The fans, the Wasps fan family, seem like they've been taken a back seat and not really asked our opinions or even just suggested anything about it. It's all been hearsay and gossip, and the worst thing is Wasps are keeping very, very quiet about it because of a confidentiality agreement, and yeah, we're just disappointed and we feel a little bit betrayed.
So it'd be interesting to see how many of those Wasps fans do stick by their club and come to see those games at the Ricoh Arena. Interestingly, though, Wasps have once played a game there before, a European game, when their own stadium wasn't available, and that saw a crowd of 21,000. So no doubt if they can get anything like that, everybody will be very pleased indeed. But one thing is for certain, that Wasps will be playing rugby at the Ricoh Arena, but so too, certainly for the time being, will be Coventry City Football Club.
That's Steve Clamp outside the Council House in Coventry. A former West Bromwich MP, Lord Snape, has questioned how authorities allowed a freed killer to live unnoticed in Hall Green in Birmingham. Barry Williams, now known as Harry Street, yesterday admitted stockpiling weapons and harassing his neighbour. He was freed in 1994 after serving 15 years for shooting dead 5 people in West Bromwich and Nuneaton.
It was a mistake that to release somebody from prison who'd killed 5 people within 15 years, I thought put the public at danger. I'm more concerned at this time that somebody like Harry Street can blend back into the community and accumulate lots of weapons and homemade explosives as he did previously.
A businessman has told ITV News Central how he was held in squalid conditions in jail in Kenya after being wrongly accused of working there illegally. He shared a cell with more than 50 people and was banned from leaving the country for months. He's now returned home to Staffordshire, as Mark Goff reports.
Graham Gallier is back home with his wife after being held in prison in Kenya, sleeping on a flea-infested mattress with poor sanitary conditions and crammed into an overcrowded cell.
In the cell I was in, there was around about 55 to 60 people. On a bad day, a few more. You're sleeping on the floor. I had a small mattress, which that wasn't arranged by the prison, that was arranged by prisoners. And you pay a small fee for that to the prisoner who is going to give you the mattress. Everybody else sleeps head to foot and like sardines, only much tighter.
He'd gone to Kenya to try to start a business as a health and safety advisor, but he was arrested for working without a permit. He says he was working there legally. After weeks in jail, he was freed, but he wasn't allowed to leave the country while his case was being heard. It took more than 7 months.
We had the hearing, and my lawyer said to me, look, they're willing to do a bargain for you. Change your plea, to guilty, which I wasn't happy about. He said they'll give you a fine. He says, and then you can go home.
He's back home in Roaston near Uttoxeter, but his memories of his time in jail will never leave him.
The smell is one thing that is not just bad smells, but even food. I mean, the food, rice and beans twice a day and porridge in the morning. And the only drink was water, which was chlorinated water. I was treated very well. It's not really seen to do anything to a white person and make their life anything but, okay. And I was getting regular phone calls from the embassy, from the High Commission. Strangely enough, I thought I was being deported. And they said, no, you're not even a criminal. You paid your fine, you don't, so come back when you want. But no, I don't want to be going back to Kenya. Not at all.
He says he'll now try to rebuild his life and his career. Mark Goff, ITV News, Staffordshire.
The parents of a young girl with cerebral palsy say they're overjoyed after their daughter had an operation which could help her walk. Sophie Sharman originally had the procedure turned down by the NHS, forcing her family to raise thousands of pounds themselves. Victoria Davis reports.
It's just days after Sophie had an operation which could see her walk for the first time in her life. And already her parents, who live in Bedworth, say they can see significant improvements.
It's brilliant signs straight away. Her legs are really bendy, her arms she can lift right up over her head now. We're hoping that, soon she'll start crawling, and then one day maybe, we'll even have a picture to put on their group on Facebook of her standing and walking, so, that'd be the dream.
Sophie has cerebral palsy. The 11-year-old has never been able to sit or stand without assistance. She had been lined up for an NHS operation to loosen her stiff muscles, which could help her move unaided and relieve her pain. But because of cost-cutting, the NHS cancelled the surgery, forcing Sophie's parents to raise the £12,000 themselves. Last week, the couple returned from their honeymoon early when they got the call to say the operation at the Queen's Medical Centre in Nottingham would be brought forward.
To see her how she was before, tight and stiff, and she was sort of like stressed out all the time, but now she's relaxed, she's calm, she's not shouting at us, or she's totally different, just a different little girl, so relaxed.
Sophie will now have intensive physiotherapy for 3 years at a cost of around £20,000, so the fundraising will continue. But her family say they've already been overwhelmed by the support they've received from around the world.
Nothing could say thank you enough. They've given a new lease of life. It's like she's been reborn, and they've given her that chance now to walk, and we just thought, she's just a little girl, nobody will really want to help, but God, the floods of donations that come in, it's unreal.
It's still a long road ahead for Sophie, but her parents are holding on to the dream that one day their daughter will take her first steps. Victoria Davis, ITV News.
In sport, the Leicester Tigers director of rugby, Richard Cockrell, says he will not be walking away from his job after 3 back-to-back defeats against Gloucester, London Irish and Bath. It's been a tough few weeks for the Tigers, with more than 20 players out injured. Their next match is against Harlequins, but Cockrell says he's confident the club can turn things around.
It's not ideal for obvious reasons. If you want to look at the circumstances around it, you can. If you want to just look at the results and go, well, that's not good enough, you can. And we have to work through it. Times aren't as easy as we'd like them to be. That's professional sport sometimes, and we have to get on with it, and which we are. I am not walking away from any adversity or any battle. I will face it head on until someone taps me on the shoulder and tells me that it's no longer my job.
Now let's get the weather forecast with the details. Here's Lucy.
Hello. Well, the unsettled weather continues as we head through the rest of this week. Showers and longer spells of rain in the forecast, and it's feeling much cooler, as I'm sure you've noticed. Tonight, temperatures dipping to around 6 or 7 degrees Celsius. Not dramatically low overnight tonight. That's because we have enough of a breeze to prevent the temperatures dropping too low. We are going to see some cloud building, though, in southern counties by the time we get to dawn, and some showers developing here. So it's this that really sets the scene for tomorrow. Those showers will make their way in a northeasterly direction. So first thing tomorrow morning, the further north you are, your best chance of dry and bright weather. But gradually those showers will make some headway, and it's certainly brolly weather as we head into the afternoon. Some heavy downpours expected and temperatures reaching 13 or 14 degrees Celsius. I'll see you tomorrow.
And that's all we've got time for tonight. There are further details and updates on our stories online. Just go to itv.com/central. For now, though, from the Late Team, good night.